Hello, kids. I hope you guys are all doing well, and hope you guys are ready for another Bible story. Today, we're going to be looking at a story from Luke chapter 18.
Shut up!
Hey,
I said, shut up!
why should I shut up?
Because I don't want those kids learning about
The Bible?
I hate that word!
Bible?
Stop saying that!
Bible.
Well, I guess if you're gonna read the Bible, that's okay. But kids, you can listen, just don't do anything the Bible says. If you listen, like all those people out there that always go to church and listen and then go home and forget all about it, I am happy with that. I'm fine if you listen, just don't do it.
Well, with God's help, they're going to do it because they know that that's going to be the best for them and what makes God happy.
Ugh! I hate it when God's happy. I love it when they don't listen and their life is a mess and they have to cry. I love seeing kids cry because they didn't listen to God.
That's not very nice.
I know I'm not nice.
Well, I don't think we want you here anymore
What? Why not?
because you're mean.
Well, I don't want to be here if you're going to be talking about the
Bible?
Ugh! I'm out of here.
Bye. Well, let's not listen to him. Let's go ahead and start looking at our story in Luke chapter 18. And today we're going to be reading starting in verse 35.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, what's your name?
King, duh.
Oh, yeah, I guess you do have a crown. Where are you the king of?
I don't know.
You don't know what you're the king of?
No, I guess, I'm just the king of, nothing.
You're the king of nothing.
Yep.
Well, today we're going to be talking about a real king.
Huh? I'm a real king.
You can't be a real king if you're the king of nothing.
Yes, I can. I have a crown. That's all you need.
Well, anyways, we're going to be talking about another king then.
Whoa, I like talking about kings.
Yeah, so do I.
But, before we start, I need to blow up something. I want to blow up this balloon, but I've tried 100 times, and I can't.
Hey, you lost your crown. Do you want me to help you with that?
Sure. I don't want anyone to see my bald head.
There you go.
Thanks, man. You're the best. So, I'm trying to blow up this balloon. But nothing happens.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to blow up a balloon when you're a puppet because you don't really have any air.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Do you want me to help you?
No, I'm gonna do it.
Well, you can try.
I give up.
Well, you don't have to give up if you just trust someone else to help you.
Really?
Yeah, that's what we're going to be reading about today. We're going to be reading about someone who had something impossible to do, but that's why he asked someone else to help him.
Oh, maybe I should have asked for help. Well, let's read the story.
Okay, Luke chapter 18, verse 35. It says, as he,
Wait, who is he?
well, he is Jesus in the story.
Oh, I've heard of Jesus. He's a pretty great guy.
That he is. As he drew near to Jericho,
Jericho? Isn't that the story you talked about last time? With the walls falling down?
yeah, but this is a long time after. This is actually after they already rebuilt the walls.
What? They rebuilt the walls?
Yeah, but that's a whole nother story. A guy loses two sons.
What?
Yeah, but you have to read about that in the Bible later. We don't have time for that.
Wow, there's a lot of interesting stuff in the Bible.
Yeah, there is. That's why you should read it more.
Okay.
So he drew near to Jericho. A blind man was sitting by the roadside begging.
Blind man? That's crazy. I would hate to be blind. If I was blind, I'd keep bumping into stuff like this. Or this. Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah, it would be. And since this blind man in this time, the government really didn't help blind men.
He couldn't get welfare?
Nope.
He couldn't get any help?
Nope. So he had to just sit on the side of the road and beg for money because he was completely helpless. And they didn't even have laser eye surgery back then to correct his vision.
No way! That's really sad.
Yeah, it is. So he was sitting by the road begging, and it says in verse 36, and hearing a crowd go by, he inquired what this meant.
Inquired? What does inquire mean?
It just means to ask. He just hears all this noise of all these tons of people, and he wants to know what's going on.
Oh, like when I practice my trumpet and my parents come in my room because they want to know what that horrible sound is?
Yeah, exactly. So he wanted to know what the sound was too, so he asked them what's going on. So they told him in verse 37, they told him Jesus of Nazareth is passing by.
Oh, that would be amazing if Jesus passed by my house.
Yeah, that's what the blind man thought too. And he says in verse 38, and he cried out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me.
Whoa. Wait. I thought they called him Jesus of Nazareth.
That's right, that's what the people called him. But the blind man called him the Son of David. Do you know who David was?
Of course, David was a king, just like me. But I thought David lived thousands of years before Jesus.
Well, he did, at least a couple hundred years before Jesus.
Well, then how in the world could he have a son that was when he was hundreds of years old?
Well, he didn't. David actually died hundreds of years before Jesus.
What? Did they freeze his body and make him get alive again so he could have kids?
Nope.
Then how was Jesus David's son?
Well, in the Bible, it talks about how God made a promise to David that one of his descendants, the son could be a grandchild, a great-great-great-great-great-grandchild, that he called those sons. It's just someone, a descendant, someone that came from David, was going to rule, and that person was going to be the king over Israel and over all the earth. He wasn't just going to be any king. He was going to be the King of Kings. He was going to be God himself.
Whoa! That's a lot better king than the king of nothing like me.
Yeah, I'm afraid it is.
And I bet you he has a crown that doesn't keep falling off his head.
Well, actually, at this time, Jesus didn't even have a crown.
What? He didn't have a crown?
Nope. But people like this blind man understood who Jesus was, and that's why he called out to Jesus, and that's why he called him the King of David. Because the blind man realized that he was blind.
No duh. Anyone knows that. You're not very smart, are you?
I guess not. Well, he realized that he was blind, and he realized that he couldn't help himself.
Oh, that's terrible. That's kind of like last week when I wanted a new Lego set and I didn't have any money.
Yeah, so when you don't have any money, it's impossible for you to do anything about buying that Lego set, huh?
Yeah, it was a sad day.
Yeah, but a lot worse than not having any money is being blind, especially if you're blind not just physically, but spiritually. That means you can't understand spiritual things. You don't even know that you are a sinner and that you need help.
Oh, that's way worse than just being normally blind.
Yeah, exactly. But this guy, he realized that he was blind both physically, he couldn't see, and spiritually because he needed God to open his eyes. So that's the first thing any of us need to realize is that we're blind, that we need help. Until we realize we're blind, until we realize we need help, we're not going to do what the blind man did.
What did the blind man do?
Well, he yelled out for Christ to help him.
Whoa! That was embarrassing.
Yeah, it might have been embarrassing, but he didn't care because he realized how big of a need he had. In fact, listen to the next verse. Verse 39, and those who were in front of him rebuked him.
Rebuked him? You mean they told him to shut up?
Yeah, pretty much.
Whoa! So did he get embarrassed and stop yelling for Jesus?
Well, let's read and find out. Telling him to be silent. But he cried out all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me.
Whoa! So he didn't care what people thought.
Yeah, that's right, because he knew he had a really big need. He was blind physically and spiritually, and he knew that he needed help, so he didn't care what anyone else thought about him, because he knew he needed help.
Whoa! Yeah, I guess if you're in a lot of pain or you really know you need help, you don't care what other people think about you. You just want someone to help you.
Yeah, if you really understand that you're a sinner, then you don't care that other people think about you. You just want Jesus to help you, and that's what this man did. And did you hear what he said?
Yeah? He said, have mercy on me. But what's mercy?
Or mercy is when someone in a higher position looks at someone in a lower position that can't help themselves and feels bad for them. It's when they give them something that they don't deserve.
Oh, like when I disobey my parents and eat too many cookies and my stomach hurts and they give me medicine even though I disobeyed them?
Yep, exactly.
Oh.
But this is even bigger than that because the beggar, the blind man, realized that he didn't deserve Jesus to help him, that he was a sinner. That's why he says, have mercy on me. Even though Jesus was the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the beggar knew that only Jesus could help him. And that he couldn't help himself. So he said, have mercy on me. I'm weak. Only you can help me. So he calls out to Jesus, first of all, because he knows he can't help himself. And secondly, because he knows who Jesus is.
Oh, so he called on Jesus because he had faith that Jesus could help him.
Exactly. And that's why we should call on Jesus, first of all, when we know we're a sinner, to save us from our sins, and then every single day to help us to do what's right. Because we can't do it by ourselves, and we know that Jesus is really the Son of David. He is the King. He is God. He's the only one that can help us.
Whoa, that's great.
Yeah, and then let's finish the story. In verse 40, it says, and Jesus stopped and commanded him to be brought to him. And when he came near, he asked him, what do you want me to do for you? He said, Lord, let me recover my sight. And Jesus said to him, recover your sight. Your faith has made you well. And immediately he recovered his sight.
Whoa, he could see again just like that?
Yeah, because Jesus is God and he can do anything.
Whoa, that's amazing.
So what do you think he did next?
Well, if I were him, I would have ran around town looking at everything. I would have gone and seen a sunset and looked at beautiful pictures and watched a movie.
Well, there weren't any movies during that time.
Oh, well, I would have gone and looked at a camel and just seen what everything looked like.
Yeah, that's what I would have done too. But you know what he did?
Nope. What did he do?
Well, it says, after he received his sight, and followed him, glorifying God. And all the people, when they saw it, gave praise to God.
Whoa, so he started following Jesus?
Yep, because he realized that Jesus was the person that he was made for. He was made to be able to serve Jesus, and that's all he wanted to do. That was his whole purpose in life. That was why Jesus healed him, so he could serve Jesus.
Whoa, That's amazing. I guess since he realized that Jesus was the king, that's why he followed Jesus.
Yeah, that's right. He realized that Jesus was the only one that deserved to be followed. And that's why he praised God. He followed the person that he knew deserved to be followed. And that's always the best way to go.
Well, that's kind of like with all the fires around. Imagine if your house caught on fire.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
And then the firemen came and told you to follow him to safety.
What would you do?
Well, duh, I would follow him. I don't know where to go in a fire, and the fireman knows a lot more than I do. He's been in a lot of fires.
Yeah, so you would follow the fireman because you trusted him.
Exactly. And I don't want to burn off all my hair. I already lost the hair on my head. I don't want to lose the hair on my face, too. Ouch!
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun. In the same way, we follow Jesus because we trust him, because we realize he is the King of Kings. He deserves our life. And when we follow him, that's what will make us most happy, because we'll be serving God, and that's also what will give God the most credit. So we learned in this lesson that this beggar, he never gave up.
Yeah, even when the people told him to be quiet.
Yeah, he kept on crying out for God because of the three things we saw. Because he had faith, and faith doesn't give up.
Yeah, it doesn't give up because it realizes it can't help itself.
Yeah, just like you couldn't blow up the balloon, the beggar couldn't heal his own eyesight. We can't change our own behavior. We can't become better by ourselves.
Yeah, I've tried to stop eating so much candy, and I can't.
Yeah, that's why we need God's help.
And I've tried to not beat up my brother, but it's really hard when he's annoying.
Yeah, that is hard. That's why we need Jesus' help. So we have to start off by realizing that we're doing bad things and we can't change ourselves. So we have to trust in someone else. So faith doesn't give up because it knows it can't help itself, but it also knows who Jesus is.
The Son of David, the King of Kings, God himself.
Yeah, he's the only one that can heal the beggar, and he's the only one that can help us. That's why he died for us, to help free us of our sin and help us to do what's right if we trust in him, not in ourselves.
And finally, when we have faith, it causes us to follow Jesus, just like we would follow a firefighter.
That's right. And following him means listening to what he says in the Bible and doing what he says, doing what pleases him, because we trust that even when we don't always understand it, we know he knows what's best.
'Cause he's the king, just like me.
Yeah, maybe a little better than you.
Guess so.
Well, it was good to see you all again. I hope you learned something in this lesson. And remember, faith doesn't give up because it knows it can't help itself, because it knows who Jesus is, and because it knows who deserves to be followed. Jesus.
Bye, everyone.